Welcome to the Ingress Insights podcast, hosted by PkmnTrainerJ. Ingress Insights is a podcast about the Niantic game Ingress. Listen each week for the latest news, updates and rumours. Let us know your thoughts by leaving a voice message or emailing us at the links in the show notes.
Additional intel available.
Hello agents and welcome to episode 96 of the Ingress Insights podcast. In this week's episode there won't be any Ingress news and updates, things like that. This is one of the episodes I've recorded for when I'm away, general life stuff that comes up. So in this episode, as you hope to see by the title, we're going through and discussing Niantic Campfire, which is no longer linked to Ingress, but looking at how it evolved from starting as Niantic Chat, going through Niantic Social and what Ingress did with it a little bit. So I hope you look forward to hearing about the history of Niantic Campfire. Campfire started off as Niantic Chat, and it was a closed beta. On the 10th of August 2021, one of the Niantic team, Juice, with lots of U's, posted welcome to the Niantic Chat closed beta and said, hello agents, if you're seeing this post, you've been requested by another agent to join as one of the first groups in the Niantic Chat closed beta. Niantic Chat is an unreleased or non-public feature that we're testing in closed beta, subject to multiple iterative changes. As such, we'd very much encourage you to save all discussions, screenshots and feedback for this private space in our forum. We'll be opening to more agents over the following months, so keep a Niantic Chat private through the closed beta to allow both you and our teams to create the best experience possible for each new wave of players. Please note if we learn that a beta tester has leaked information outside the private closed beta group, we'll remove that tester from the closed beta. So what can you share with players outside the closed beta? General description about Niantic Chat. Here's the write-up we shared in another post. Niantic Chat enables players to join and create their own groups, both public and private, and coordinate events with reminders pinned to the Niantic Chat world map. Recruit new players, share your location with the groups you trust most, and coordinate meetups with friends directly from the game. Ingress is more fun when played with your friends, and Niantic Chat is the easiest, most secure way to do so. If you'd like to brag to your friends that you've been selected as one of the first agents for the closed beta, feel free to do so. What should you not share with players outside the closed beta? Any links, announcements, or discussion from this private forum. This includes copy pasting as well as screenshots of Niantic Chat. As mentioned above, we want to work with this group to build an amazing Niantic Chat experience for the broader Ingress community. There will be lots of new features, improvements, and even UI changes over the few months, so sharing too much now would be premature. Discussions around upcoming features or bug fixes. We will keep a close eye on all posts in this private space feedback, bug reports, and general discussion. We've also added a mega thread for feedback. We're so excited to be part of the Ingress community and can't wait to see what you all do with Niantic Chat. Best the Ingress and Niantic Chat teams. It's worth adding here, not related to Ingress, but Niantic Chat was also available via Harry Potter Wizards Unite and Catan World Explorers. I honestly can't remember whether they had it first, whether Ingress had it first, but obviously Harry Potter Wizards Unite and Catan World Explorers both closed down. So I think it was then moved over as mainly an Ingress thing to do, and then see what they could do with it from there. The next update came from the forums, again from Juice. I think you say Juice. I don't know. You have to correct me on that if you do listen, Juice. And they said Niantic Chat version 1.3.1 coming soon. What's new and what to expect. Hi agents, we'll be releasing the latest version of Niantic Chat this week, so I want to share the upcoming changes, how they impact the closed beta. So Niantic Chat is a shared experience across multiple games. Niantic Chat has been accessible via Ingress in the closed beta, as well as Catan World Explorer for the past 2 months. And while you could access Niantic Chat from either game, the experience did not overlap. So Ingress players could not interact with Catan players or content from Catan, nor could Catan players see all the groups and events you created within Ingress. This latest update will bring Ingress and Catan players together so both games will have a shared Niantic Chat experience. Ingress players will see public Catan groups, events, content, and vice versa. How does this affect the closed beta? With last week's news about Catan World Explorers winding down, we plan to welcome the Catan Explorers already using the Niantic Chat to the Ingress closed beta. In doing so, they continue to manage and communicate with the Niantic Chat groups even after Catan is sunsetted, and also be introduced or reintroduced to the global Ingress communities and events you've already created within Niantic Chat. Introducing Niantic Username. Your username and display name are currently one and the same, but this week's update will introduce Niantic Username as your unique identity and will be separated from your display name. Your Niantic username is currently default to the username selected when you first logged into Niantic Chat. However, we recognise some of you will want to change your username now that Niantic Chat is a cross-game experience, so we'll be offering Ingress players the opportunity for a one-time username change. We'll be following with more information in the coming weeks, but if you'd like to keep using the Niantic username you've already selected, then there's no action required. Integrating Niantic friends, add or remove friends from your Niantic friend list directly from Niantic chat. Note your Niantic username will be how you appear on the Niantic friends list, so please keep this in mind when choosing a unique username. With your feedback, we have decided to wait on adding the next wave of Ingress closed beta participants until we've built out some more features, including real-time location updates, more moderation tools, direct messaging, and group messaging. We thank you all for your feedback and patience through this closed beta. More to come soon. Niantic Zenith. So I guess that's who Juice is, Niantic Zenith. I have no idea whether they're still at Niantic. The next update that we got regarding Niantic Chat was that it's now been rebranded to Niantic Social, and that was in December 2021. So Niantic Zenith/Juice said, "Hi agents, we have two quick updates to share ahead of our next release on Monday, the 13th of December. Niantic Chat will be renamed Niantic Social. Niantic Social will be unavailable for scheduled maintenance and updates starting tomorrow at 9 a.m. PST until Monday, 13th of December at 10 a.m. PST. We know many of you have already seen the upcoming referral feature, and we're super excited. So some major features will make it easier than ever to find, chat, and invite friends to Niantic Social. Please keep an eye out for the release announcement. Best, Niantic Zenith." So within Niantic Social, agents could create events, groups for Ingress. There was nothing really on the map. I know if you check other games like NBA All World had a map within the game of Campfire before that shut down. Pokemon Go has its map obviously on there. Monster Hunter, I think, has a map. I don't think Pikmin does, but nothing was really ever done to highlight here's some portals, that kind of thing. I know we do have the Intel map that shows that, but it would have been handy to have it all together. I'm sure I've missed some updates, but with the Ingress community forums being closed, I'm just using the Ingress.plus community forum backup and what other links I've been able to find. So the next bit I want to cover is the post about Niantic Social winding down. Well, the closed beta winding down, obviously. So on the 18th of June 2022, the Ingress team shared a post called "Winding Down Niantic Social's Closed Beta and What Comes Next." Greetings, agents. As you may have heard, Niantic Social is now Campfire. Campfire will continue to be available within Ingress, and coming soon you'll be able to download the standalone Campfire app. We want to thank you for all your help in Campfire's open beta period. There will be a few changes coming over the next few days. We'll be temporarily disabling the ability to create new communities within Campfire. We'll be removing inactive Campfire communities by June 23rd, 2022. All active Ingress communities will remain on Campfire, and owners/admins will still have complete control over the community. Your Campfire map will not display Ingress community events for the time being. We are temporarily removing regional chat for agents that participate in the standalone closed beta. Thank you. We'll be sunsetting beta access to Campfire, but all your feedback and contribution helped us get where it is today. Everything else on Campfire should remain the same as you know it. Lastly, we're introducing a choose your own adventure experience in the near future led by Kay. Stay tuned for further information and instructions on Campfire. The next bit about Campfire was actually in Ingress's release notes for version 2.94.1. I won't read through all the notes on there, just a bit that's relevant for Campfire. So they mentioned they updated Niantic Social to Campfire, including new messages from Kay. So this is the choose your own adventure thing that they mentioned. I've got a few examples here from the choose your own adventure thing. I don't think I got the whole script, but there was a message from Kay under the name 1141. It mentions you're back on the move again, but you don't want to keep running. You try to stop, you try to put your foot down, you try to turn back. You sniffle and touch your nose is bleeding. Something compels you to keep moving forward, and whatever it is hasn't steered you wrong so far, has it? You aren't asking for much, you just want the freedom to choose, and you can either choose run or run. If you choose the correct run, I think you choose the wrong run, then you get another message, another location that says, I think I understand now, it's you, it has always been you. You're behind this, you're always behind this, and you will always be behind this. That's what you meant when you said it's about time. It's about time, or maybe not. Maybe this time we could change things. Maybe this time we can stop what's coming. I'm good with maybes. Maybes mean there's hope. Maybes mean we have a chance. And I will forever be an optimist. Until next time. The options that you get there are start over or download Ingress. So it seems that this was in the standalone Campfire app as an experience to get people to try Ingress. I don't think it really worked. I've done quite a lot of choose your own adventure books in the past. There used to be some good Nintendo ones with like Mario and Luigi and Link and stuff like that I remember. There's also a recent one that I think is by Ryan North, I want to say, which is Romeo and or Juliet, which is a fun little thing to go through. I've done that a couple of times just to see what other endings you get. But for this, it seems like it led you to only one ending and there was only one path to get there. It's not like Bandersnatch on Netflix where there's lots of paths to go through and ways you could have done it. It seemed like they knew where they want you to be pushed to and just went with that. So it was a bit weird as well because most of the people using Campfire at that time were already Ingress agents. So they already had Ingress. It's not like the Catan or Harry Potter's Unite player was going through the game on there. And I think it was a little while before it rolled out to Pokemon Go players, so they weren't following that interactive story either to pick it up. But yeah, it was a thing that existed, a choose your own adventure story from K, just told in text and clicking choices. This update was followed in June 2022, the 30th of June, with an update to say Campfire was rolling out on the Niantic blog. So they wrote, "Hey explorers, in the coming days we'll begin the global rollout of Campfire, a new social app that helps explorers discover new people, places and experiences around them. Campfire gives the Niantic community a new way to experience the joy of real-world gameplay, meetups and events, providing a way for people to discover creations that make the world a magical and entertaining place. We've been testing Campfire in beta with Ingress agents over the last several months. We'll start testing the experience to all Niantic games and players around the world soon, starting with select groups of Pokemon Go players throughout the summer. Please stay tuned to our social channels to learn about availability in your region. When you open Campfire, you'll see a dynamic map of your area with game experience activities from friends and other players dropped in a specific location nearby. On the upper right, you'll see game icons that take you to each of the channels or game-specific map views. You can switch between these channels as you move through different game experiences." There's some more details here about what Campfire does, but I'm not going to go through that in huge detail. For the map game experiences, as I mentioned before, there was nothing really on the map for Ingress. So I know for things in Pokemon Go, they eventually introduced it where you could share catch cards and see things happening on the map, see events popping up. None of that really happened for Ingress. You couldn't see where I'd placed a battle beacon or a portal had been blown up or anything like that. I don't know what agents really wanted it to show. I think that was maybe part of the issue, but I don't think they ever knew what they really wanted to use it for Ingress. Talking about them not really knowing what they wanted to use it for Ingress, one piece of marketing does stick out to me that was used for Campfire. So on the Niantic page, it used to say Niantic Campfire with the headline "Never Raid Alone Again." Obviously targeted at Pokemon Go players. Nothing really mentioned on Ingress there, so it was clear Pokemon Go knew what they were doing. They'd picked it up and were running with it under the thing of doing the raids together. Whereas the Ingress team didn't really put anything on the map, didn't have much beyond their official community. So who knows what their eventual plan was with Campfire if they had one. One thing the Ingress team did try and do with Campfire was run an AMA through it. So they called it a Q&A, but it's in the AMA section on the forums. I won't go through the whole transcript. It's linked on the forums. I'll link to it there for people to read through. But it's just going through some questions to Brian and Thea about various things with Ingress. And they mentioned that they hope to do it again. Obviously, there was an AMA on the Ingress subreddit a few years back as well. But AMAs nowadays are few and far between. But at least they did try, and it's still on the Ingress Campfire group if you want to have a look at it there. But I'll link to it on the forum backup as I mentioned. Between then and basically April 2025, there were no major updates for Campfire for Ingress. It was mainly focused on Pokemon Go. As I mentioned, the short-lived NBA All-World app did get its own map within Campfire before Ingress got anything. The Ingress official chat seemed to be overrun with Pokemon Go spam as well, as the Pokemon Go Campfire group got changed to read-only and I think vanished entirely. So just relying on users to set up their own Pokemon Go groups if they wanted. So things kind of leaked over into the Ingress group. They're still leaking over today. And obviously, no one from the Ingress team will be monitoring the Campfire chats now, so I think that's just going to be how it is. As I mentioned, on Tuesday, April 15th, the Ingress team disabled Campfire and the Niantic profile on Ingress, so they disconnected those. The Campfire groups, as I mentioned, do still exist that you can view via the Campfire app. It survives along with the official groups for Harry Potter's Unite, that's still around. The official Catan World Explorers group is still there, and the official Peridot group is still around. So I don't think anyone at Niantic necessarily knows how to close down Campfire groups for those games being around. If there was one for Transformers Heavy Metal, I guess that's still there, but I don't know how to access that. So that's been the kind of cycle of Niantic Social, Niantic Chat, and Niantic Campfire from birth to death, at least within Ingress. It still exists for the games that Scopely have brought as part of the sales. So it still exists for Pokemon Go, Monster Hunter Now, and Pikmin Bloom. As mentioned, I don't think the Ingress team ever found the right place for Niantic Campfire and what to do with it, how to best utilize it, especially as you already have the Ingress Intel map that shows all the portals. I don't know how they could have utilized it. I did have a few interviews to provide feedback to Campfire teams in the past, but none of them ever mentioned Ingress seeking any feedback, even though I did provide possible feedback of how they could utilize it a bit. But I hope you enjoyed looking back at Campfire and what it was and how Ingress could have maybe used it and what the other teams used it for. As I mentioned, you can still access the official Ingress Campfire group and chat with agents there, but there are other methods, obviously the subreddits that Ingress recommends. There's all various Telegram channels, either for your faction or exfac channels that you can access wherever you think is best to discuss Ingress in your communities, but can't really do it on Campfire anymore, unfortunately. That's all I've got, so I'm going to move in to wrap things up now. Thank you, agents, for listening to this episode. Hopefully, I'll be back next week to go through further details. I know there'll be various events that have happened that I'll have missed out on and have to go over those. If you've got any ideas for special episodes like this where you'd like to see me cover a certain feature, item, what you should be doing in Ingress every day, that kind of thing, then please do let me know. Happy to add it on there. For now, hope you all have a great day and happy hacking, agents. Thank you, agents, for listening to the latest episode of the Ingress Insights podcast. If you'd like to follow us on social media, you can do that on a few channels. So on Threads under the name ingress.insights, on Instagram under the name ingress.insights as well. Twitter/X, which posts episodes of the podcast, is under Ingress Insights, no dot in that one. And you can also watch these episodes on YouTube under Ingress Insights Podcast. You can send us a voice message by visiting the podcaster's Spotify page. And finally, you can buy Ingress Insights merch, such as mugs, pins, t-shirts, by going to freepublic.com/user/ingress-insights. And on there, you'll see all the designs we've got listed at the moment. There are some new ones that will be coming up at some point soon. But you can buy your Ingress Insights mug, hats, t-shirts, tote bags, anything like that you want. Thank you again for listening. Hope you tune in next week. If you do like the show, please do rate it on the podcast service you're listening to. I look forward to speaking with you all about Ingress again.
Intel package transferred.